What if I told you that America's most honest president spent his nights hunting creatures of darkness with a silver axe? The truth about Abraham Lincoln will shock you. The untold story: everyone knows Abraham Lincoln as the great emancipator, the man who freed the slaves. But what they don't know is why he was so desperate to end slavery. In 1831, young lawyer Lincoln received a mysterious letter that changed everything. The letter was from his supposedly dead mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln. She wasn't dead, she was something else entirely. What Lincoln discovered that night would terrify any normal person. The dark truth. Nancy revealed the horrifying secret behind America's plantation system. Southern plantation owners weren't just using slaves for labor, they were feeding them to vampires. The real reason behind the Underground Railroad? It wasn't just about freedom. Lincoln's mother handed him an ancient silver axe carved with Latin inscriptions. "Your real inheritance," she whispered, her eyes glowing in the moonlight. That's when Lincoln realized his unusual height and strength weren't natural gifts. First, hunt. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. Lincoln's first vampire hunt happened in Springfield, Illinois, 1832. He tracked a creature disguising itself as a plantation overseer who was recruiting runaway slaves. What Lincoln found in that abandoned barn still haunts historians today. The vampire wasn't alone. 7 creatures surrounded Lincoln, their eyes burning red in the darkness. A normal man would have died instantly. But Lincoln wasn't normal. The fight lasted exactly 4 minutes and 33 seconds. When the dust settled, 7 piles of ash lay scattered around Lincoln's feet. His political career had just begun, but so had his secret war. The hidden campaign. Now here's the part that will blow your mind. Every major political speech Lincoln gave had a hidden meaning. When he talked about a house divided, he wasn't just referring to slavery. He was talking about the vampire infestation splitting America in two. The famous Lincoln-Douglas debates? Douglas was unknowingly backed by vampire plantation owners. Lincoln was literally debating for the soul of America. Presidential revelation. The most shocking discovery came in 1860. When Lincoln won the presidency, Confederate vampires made their move. They weren't just fighting for states' rights, they were fighting to keep their feeding grounds. Jefferson Davis, the Confederate president, he had no idea his military advisors were vampires using the Civil War as cover for the largest vampire uprising in history. The secret White House Lincoln turned the White House into vampire hunting headquarters. Those late-night meetings everyone talks about? They weren't about war strategy. Mary Todd Lincoln thought her husband was going insane, staying up all night reading military reports. She never knew he was actually studying vampire migration patterns. The famous stovepipe hat? It wasn't for style. It concealed silver stakes and holy water. The real Gettysburg. Here's what they'll never teach you in school. The Battle of Gettysburg wasn't just Union versus Confederate. It was humans versus vampires, with Lincoln secretly coordinating both battles. While generals fought with cannons and rifles, Lincoln fought with silver weapons in the shadows. The real reason the Union won? Lincoln eliminated the vampire commanders. His famous Gettysburg Address contained hidden vampire hunting codes. 7 years ago wasn't about America's founding. It was about when the vampire invasion began. The ultimate sacrifice. But the most incredible truth is why Lincoln was really assassinated. John Wilkes Booth wasn't acting alone, and he wasn't just a Confederate sympathizer. Booth was a vampire thrall sent to eliminate America's greatest vampire hunter. Lincoln knew the assassination was coming. His security detail found silver bullets in his coat pocket and vampire hunting tools hidden in his office. He chose to die rather than reveal America's supernatural secret. The cover-up. The government has hidden this truth for 160 years. Lincoln's vampire hunting tools were buried with him, but copies exist in a secret Smithsonian vault. The Lincoln Memorial? It's not just a monument, it's a supernatural barrier protecting Washington, D.C. Recent declassified documents hint at a special presidential unit that continued Lincoln's work. Every president since has known the truth, but none have spoken. Modern evidence. And here's the most terrifying part. Historians have found Lincoln's secret diary, written in a code that took 50 years to crack. The final entry, written hours before his death, contains a warning about vampires returning in the 21st century. Climate change isn't the only crisis America faces. Lincoln's vampire war never ended. It just went underground. The question isn't whether Lincoln was a vampire hunter. The question is, who's hunting them now?